The United States president at the time, James Polk, was an expansionist and a hardliner who publicly insisted on securing California, which was the Pacific coast.
On April 25, 1846, armed conflict broke out between the two armies. 16 American soldiers were killed or captured, and the United States declared war on Mexico on this pretext.
In fact, Mexico did not want a war with the United States and avoided conflict as much as possible. But in order to make a pretext for the declaration of war, the U.S. military intentionally induced the conflict with provocations at the border. Mexico deliberately avoided conflict because it was aware of the strong military and national power of the United States. However, the United States deliberately waged war as an opportunity for territorial expansion. Because the conflict took place across the Mexican border, Abraham Lincoln, who was a pacifist, asked President Polk, who had decided to declare war on Mexico, to map the exact location of the conflict. When hardliner James Polk refused to comply, the pacifists decided to negotiate. However, the power of the pacifist faction was too weak and broad support in the United States for war against Mexico led to a declaration of war and the start of the war. At the same time as the war broke out, U.S. forces across the border of the Rio Grande River began an offensive. At that time, the arid regions of northern Mexico were only defined by administrative power in the form of unclear lines, and were quite far from the central regions where Mexico's population and industry were concentrated. From the beginning of the war, Mexico's defense of the border was virtually a failure, as it was defeated by U.S. forces in several major battles. The total population of Mexico, including the northern regions, was 8.9 million, which was less than that of the United States, which had a population of 23.2 million. It was almost impossible for the Mexican army, which was inferior in equipment and training, to stop the all-out U.S. offensive. Early in the war, the U.S. offensive was focused on California. A full-scale attack began on July 7, 1846, when U.S. Navy frigates and sloops landed and deployed the land forces at Monterey. Mexico was soon on the defensive, facing an overlapping rebellion by American settlers in California. In addition, the Mexican counterattack to intercept the Americans was thwarted by General Taylor of the United States, and Los Angeles was soon besieged.
On December 16th, Tucson, the capital of Arizona, was captured by American forces, and in early 1847, American victories were assured across California, Arizona, and New Mexico. When Mexico refused to surrender despite giving up a Pacific exit, the United States launched a full-scale offensive into the Mexican mainland.
The United States defeated the weak Mexico with overwhelming military power and national power, and won the victory by trampling across the states in the Sunbelt, California, Arizona, and New Mexico. United States forces, using overwhelming naval power, landed ground troops in a surprise landing at Veracruz, the largest port located east of the capital, Mexico City, in the south of at the southern tip of Mexico's territory, and captured the city Veracruz.
Then, forming a second front, they began advancing towards Mexico City, while the main forces advanced from the north.
The Mexican side expected that if the United States advanced south into central Mexico, their forces would die of disease, like the French army that invaded Haiti again after the Haitian Revolution.
However, unlike the French army that invaded Haiti, which had crossed the Atlantic Ocean and came to the island nation suffering from seasickness in the first place, the United States had a well-equipped supply system. So, for the American soldier who penetrated the northern territory of Mexico, without much resistance, the disease had no effect and was irrelevant. On September 13, 1847, at the Battle of Chapultepec, the gateway to the capital Mexico City, the Mexican defenders suffered a crushing defeat with about 2,600 casualties, and even their last defense units collapsed. On the other hand, American attacking forces suffered only about 200 casualties and invaded Mexico City without hesitation. Eventually, on September 15th, Mexico City fell powerlessly, despite desperate resistance from the Mexican army and militia. The Mexican government evacuated in disgrace, and the army fell into a state of irreversible damage, with about 7,000 casualties including prisoners. The United States defeated weak Mexico with overwhelming military and national power, and won the victory by trampling across the states in the Sun Belt, California, Arizona, and New Mexico.
From the beginning, the war between the United States and Mexico was a war in which Mexico had no choice but to lose because of the superior military and national power of the United States. The United States occupied all of the Sunbelt states, landed in Veracruz, occupied Mexico City, and the Mexican government evacuated.
So the outcome of the war between the United States and Mexico was clearly decided, and the winner and the loser were decided. Chapultepec, where the battle took place, is the palace of Montezuma from the first line of the Marine's hymn, from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli.
And here, 6 young Mexican cadets died while resisting to the end, and Mexico commemorates them as NIDA's heroes until now.
Thank you for watching the video, The War Between the United States and Mexico Part 2, provided by History and Current Events. I'm Rebecca, Olivia, Abigail, and Jody. and Tony have contributed so far as narrators. The War Between the United States and Mexico Part 3 is coming soon. Thank you.